Hi, my name is Aldrich Morton, and I'm a second-year grad student at the University of South Carolina.
My name is Cal.
My name is Jordan.
My situation dealing with sexual harassment dealt with a woman approaching me while I was downtown. It was late night. She kept constantly coming up to me and grabbing me. Obviously, she was drunk, but I was trying to get her to stop, and she wouldn't. So she approached me after a few minutes of leaving me alone and tried to kiss me. And when I, kind of pushed her off, she got mad and slapped me. So it was one of those awkward situations of what do you do as a male when a woman approaches you like that? And I think I handled it the correct way, but you never really know. Every situation is different.
So my instance with sexual harassment at USC was in the Media Services Center. I was pulled aside and told I would be given help with my camera, and the office door was shut behind me, which was unnerving, but I thought it would be fine, not a huge deal. Maybe they're just a private person. And they then proceeded to kind of hone in on me and just say I want to photograph you, really into you and your vibe and your appearance, and I want to photograph your lips, just very inappropriate. So I left promptly and haven't really been back to media services much since then.
So my first instance of sexual harassment, the biggest instance of sexual harassment I ever faced was I worked at a popular Italian restaurant food chain. I was a server there for around 3 years, and there were these managers there, and I became, close friends with everyone there. Everyone was really cool, everyone was chill. Of course, when you're a server, you love everyone you work with, you hate the customers. So one of the managers there, we became really close. He was really chill because he was the night shift worker. And I always worked really late at nights because I was also a student at Midlands Tech before I transferred to USC. We would always be buddy-buddy. He'd bring his wife in, show me his kids, and he knew I was married, and he would greet my husband, and we would get deals and stuff, and he would help us out, and we would go out and go do things with him. He was really cool. We also had this kind of casual flirting thing going on where it's hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And it was fun and it was cool. And then it got weird. One of the nights that I was closing and he was closing, he came up to me and we started chatting, started doing a normal conversation at the end of the night. And he asked me how big my nipples are. It's really strange, that threw me off. I was like, what? But in my head, I knew his wife was pregnant at the time. So I was maybe he's asking questions hey, is this normal? So I was I don't know, man. They're normal size nipples, I guess. And that's when he licked his mouth in front of me. He went, I'd like to see that. I was very uncomfortable and I went okay, this is a little weird. This is a little more than usual. Then he pulled me into the back of the stock room, sat down in a chair, and had me give him a back massage. And that kind of stuff was semi-normal between us. We would joke around and I'd go up and go oh man, you're so stressed. But this was him kind of trying to force me into giving him a back massage, and it was uncomfortable. So I was all right, well, I need to go finish up my closing duties. I want to head home. And he says, oh man, I know you're tense too. I got to give you a back massage. So he set me down in the same chair and grabbed onto my shoulders because he's a big, 6 foot tall dude. He looks like a football player. He grabs my shoulders and he starts massaging them. And he grinds his pelvis into my back. He's making all these moaning sounds. And in that instance, I see one of our line cooks walk past the storage closet. And I look at him with the widest eyes and I'm scared. And sadly, he didn't say anything. But after that, I got out of that situation. I finished up my cleaning duties and I went home. When I got home, I told my husband what happened. And my husband didn't understand at first, and I was scared. I started crying because this is a big dude, and now it's not fun anymore. This isn't games. This isn't flirting. This isn't playful. This is someone who wanted to get with me. I had to go into the work the next day. I'm crying my eyes out, and I'm in a parking lot because I can't make myself go to work anymore. I finally decided to call corporate. And I called corporate that morning and I was crying my eyes and I was like, I'm so scared to go to work. I can't do it. I can't go to work. And I told them the story of what happened and they said, it's fine. You'll still get paid. Take the day off of work. And the next thing is I get called to come in to work and corporate's there and they sit me down with him. They're like, all right, so I heard about something that happened. And I was like, yeah. And they said, so is there anyone who saw it? And I mentioned the line cook. And the next day, he got fired because the line cook told them that he saw it happen. After that, things kind of got worse at work. People were saying I was a whore and I was tempting him to get him fired. Things never really got better after that with work, and I ended up quitting. He was trying to make all these excuses as to why I would lie, and he said that I just wanted him because he was a manager, and he took that power over me as someone who runs a business to take advantage of someone. And then after that, years had passed, and I thought I was fine, and I'm working on a film. I have a group I'm working with helping with makeup on a film, and everything was going great. And then we go to the director's house, and that's when I find out that the director is my manager's brother. And I had never known that. So I'd been working with the director for years, and I never knew that that was his brother that did that to me. And our relationship with the director changed because when I walked into the house and I saw the family photos of my manager, I panicked because he scares me. And he found out, the director found out that his brother was the guy who did that to me, and he accused me of ruining their family. And thankfully, I don't work with that director anymore, and thankfully, I don't work at that restaurant anymore. But yeah.
It definitely hindered my ability to access resources that I pay for on campus and that I have access to through this service, but felt uncomfortable coming up to the space because of what happened. And since reporting, even I've had to have others check out material for me because I felt so uncomfortable coming up to the third floor.
No, I haven't had to report sexual harassment. One, because I guess being a male, it's kind of a touchy subject when you try to report a woman harassing you, and it's almost as if they have taken some of your masculinity away. It's not something that I probably would report. It's not really a big deal because I didn't feel threatened, even though I was uncomfortable. But no, didn't report it at all.
I have had to report an incident like this before. These aren't the first times I've done it, and thankfully I know what to do.
Actually, I do not know where I can go. I have no clue where to go to report sexual harassment.
When you're in a business situation, don't be afraid to call corporate. You feel kind of like no one's going to believe you and no one's going to take your side, but they will. And just like with the filming situation, I contacted someone in there and I told them in the film, and I said, I cannot do this anymore. And thankfully, I talked to someone who understood. Same thing with like anything at the University of South Carolina. There's the Equal Opportunities Act, and we have an equal opportunities building where you can call, you can go in and get a meeting and talk to anyone about anything like this if this happens.
So I've been to the counseling center, not particularly for this, although it did come up. I have genuinely had a good experience with the counseling center, but I know that's not the case for everyone. It's every student's right to have 10 therapy sessions per year. It's not per semester, but that is like your right as a student to receive counseling services. And I filed a report with the Office of Equal Opportunities, just an online claim with one of my professors.
I don't know. I guess it depended on how severe I thought it was. I don't think I would have a problem reporting it, but more than likely, knowing me, I probably wouldn't.